Hello everyone, and welcome to a new movie review. I know we said we'd stop doing these, but we have a very special...
For special occasions, we bring them back up, such as the Godzilla Netflix movie. That was utter trash, and still utter trash.
Yep.
But if you're wondering why I'm looking at him so intently...
Okay, look, we did not look up any...
We had a choice. A choice that was made tonight.
Yes.
Is leaving me in a foul mood where a choice I made a few nights ago before I was unfortunately...
I'm feeling judged. I'm feeling judged.
We are going to see the missing link. I love Leica films. And
yes,
it's like, let's watch Hellboy. As soon as the reviews came out yesterday, I'm like, reviews on Rotten Tomatoes are 12%. Let me not read anything. Let me not look at anything because I don't want to give this movie an unfair shake. Because sometimes movies get lower reviews and I like. Personally, The Meg, it got lower reviews, but we really enjoyed it. This movie... And again, I will say it very nice and kindly to the general audience and also say that there will be some swearing in this video. So this is your warning to leave now, and I'll just say it's a terrible movie. 3, 2, 1. This movie's a piece of shit. It is bad. It is terrible.
What? This was a great movie. I'm kidding, God. No,
I was gonna punch you.
No, this is not a good movie. Long story short, I did not look up any reviews. I went in completely blind, and this movie pales compared to the other ones. Completely. The lead is good, but he pales.
David Harbour is better in Stranger Things. The problem in this movie is he can emote through the makeup. He's not an actor that unfortunately cannot. He can bring it, and he does bring the physicality.
Yeah.
The problem is... he has a bunch of one-liners that don't make sense or are bad. They're jokes. Literally,
you can feel him sighing as he says it.
There's a one-liner that I literally heard, and I'm like, Dragon Ball Abridged did it way better. Holy mackerel! How are you? How's a $50 million movie with an expert writing team failing with a fan project? That just shows you how good Abridged is. But in any case, this movie has terrible CGI. Let's get that off. They have the practical effects of David Harbour's Hellboy, and they have the practical effects of some shots of the Baba Yaga and the pig, this pig fairy thing, both of which show up in the movie. A majority, probably 85% of the shots in this movie are CGI. And it's not good CGI. It's not Guillermo del Toro where he spends his time crafting the CGI and making sure it fits naturally into the story so it doesn't look out of place. They all look terrible.
Yeah.
There's actually shots in this film that I swear to God are taking it from YouTube fan projects. One of the creatures in there looks like something from the guy that did Chappie and District 9. He did the one where it was essentially a creature made out of body parts.
Ah, yes.
And there's a creature in this made out of body parts in almost the exact same fashion. So I don't know.
I guess going from the start, the characters' performances are not overall bad. David Harbour does a good job, not a great one. He does what he can with the role. There are some moments that he does shine a little bit through, and you're like, yes, that's Hellboy. There are others that it just does not work. Especially when he has to convey, or it's mostly the writing, but when he has to convey the is he, will he, won't he choice. Obviously, to Hellboy's character, he is the son of the devil itself. And the whole point is him deciding between to protect humanity or doom humanity. And throughout this movie, you never really feel that he's ever going to go the other way.
So, they also...
To be fair, the original kind of has the same issue, but this one's far more apparent. There's also a glut of characters in this that they throw at the screen, and you're just like, please stop. Because there's so much exposition, there's so much narration, there's so much explaining... that you don't need to explain. There's a whole backstory to why someone can do something. And you're like, you don't need to say any of this. They also pull out...
Example. There's an entire intro sequence in black and white with just red on some of the blood and like red standout. That entire intro sequence is done to where it explains the Blood Queen's origins.
Yes.
Expositioned by Ian McShane, aka the Hellboy's father figure.
Yep.
The problem is they repeat almost verbatim this exact same dialogue probably 2 or 3 times in the movie.
Yep.
Why do you need to show and tell where you can just show? And this happens not with just that scene. It happens again and again and again with multiple backstories, multiple things. And there's also situations where an example would be a side character who pops up probably halfway through this film, literally has Hellboy explain her origin, and then we see her origin.
Yeah.
Which, once again, show, don't tell, then show. Because then we're just like, okay, we know what's going to happen. You don't do any interesting twists on it.
There's also plenty of action sequences in this movie, and most are not good. Like, there's the giant, there's a scene
yeah,
with
they're
giants.
interesting for, like,
there's
wow.
a scene with giants that is just...
Okay.
It is bad. It is really bad.
Remember 2008, and I'm just going to say the Golden Army for a second, where there was some CGI creatures in there?
They were practical.
I haven't seen... No, there was some larger ones, like the tree creature, like the plant creature.
Yes.
Like, again, CGI, and also the Golem Army. I have a feeling if I go back to that movie... Mm-hmm. I should see, or that movie has better special effects. I'm not gonna say the 2004 one does, necessarily, but I will say in a hard fact at least the 2008 movie, a movie that came out 11 years ago at this point. And I haven't seen that movie in a while, but Guillermo's usually good with that stuff, and the scenes in here are just so bad that I'm surprised this isn't a straight-to-DVD release. Like, CGI is bad.
Or at least to Netflix, yeah. When they moved this movie up, I kind of had a lot of hope, because I watched Movie Talk for Collider, and there was a lot of discussion in regards to, they changed the date. They have a lot of faith in this movie. Now I understand why this movie was for January, because it's not, there's, again, the narration's bad, too many characters, the CGI is terrible in a lot of instances. There's no real arc to the characters.
The storytelling is also bland. It's like... Also, by the way,
other than
they
Hellboy,
cram
yeah.
Hellboy 1 story
yeah.
with unlocking the apocalypse, Hellboy 2 story with the humans and fantasy creatures fighting each other. They
yes.
include both those stories into this one. Now, do they give an interesting story for either of them?
Nope.
Do we get to know anything about Hellboy that we didn't know from the other two movies? Do they do anything interesting with Hellboy?
Not particularly. In fact, they kind of unhumanize him because, like, in the first two, specifically the second one,
yeah,
you can see, like, there's the moment where the father figure, the adoptive father, is telling Hellboy about this past, and he's reading him a book.
Yeah.
And that scene is like, okay, this is obviously someone that's teaching. He's being much more like, he's a scientific character, but he's being very human. Like, he's teaching him, like, you know, like, it's just it's a moment that makes you feel good. And it's literally a guy telling a demon, like, explaining the story. And it makes you kind of warm your heart. And that's what the Guillermo del Toro movies do. They warm your heart a bit.
Yeah.
Like, the scene in regards to where he fights the giant flower monster.
Yeah.
It's a very, like, it shows, like, you're going to protect these humans. Look at this beautiful creature. Like, and you see it die, and you're like, you feel bad for this monster, and you can kind of see where the other person's coming from. In this one, you don't ever feel for the monsters. They're ugly. They're hideous.
Yeah.
They steal children. They murder children.
Which also doesn't make sense, because she mentions, or Hellboy mentions that the Baba Yaga in another fight. Again, there's so much other stuff, like, I've seen you before. We haven't.
Yep.
So, in general, if you're going to introduce someone, maybe don't just drop them in and just say, like, hey, it's been a while. Even sometimes you can do that. That's fine. But it feels like every single person has this backstory that we're told multiple times. Or there's someone who just pops in the frame. There's literally a witch that betrays the main...
Oh, yeah. She
just pops in again. It's like, guys, we only have her by this tree, so we're just going to keep her by the tree. She's too expensive. We can't have her at any other scene but this tree. And this tree part is in, like, multiple scenes. It's bad. It is so convoluted. It's so stupid.
I did like the fact that Hellboy did mention, like, oh yeah, I've done a whole bunch of stuff. Like, it seems like this is a Hellboy that has been around the block. I'm not saying it was done well,
yeah,
but the way he expressed it, like, oh yeah, I met Osiris or whatever.
So, like, there's so many.
Ra. It's like I liked those little touches, but I liked that, and I liked David Harbour's performance. That's all I can say. The side characters, in regards to their likability and memorability, are not great. For instance, there's a character that, let's say, has a transformation throughout the film.
I like Ben Damo, the Jaguar, just because of his charisma. That's it.
See, I'm completely the opposite on that. I did not like the character.
I know why you didn't like him. He's not like Abe or the other side characters from the previous movies. Because if we take them for reference, they're so much more fleshed out.
Yes.
But he's the closest I get for an interesting side character. That girl who just pops in the frame, I didn't really care much about her.
Yeah, it's... The other thing I will mention is the original character, again, this, like, Jaguar, it's like, oh, cool. The problem is there's nothing unique about him.
Yeah.
Like, he's just a hardline military badass. Whereas Abe was the sophisticated, you know, like, he kind of has that, like, yeah, he's not human, but he's more sophisticated than humans. Obviously, the girl that, you know, has the strange power. Like, there's a variety of characters in the original, and you could be like, oh yes, I like that character, or, oh, you enjoyed spending time with these characters. I did not enjoy spending time with, like, the psychic girl. I did not enjoy with the hardline badass, and Harbor barely you know,
that's why I say it's okay.
Like, I thought he was good, but I just kept remembering Ron Perlman's performance, and then every time you get thrown into a CGI fight that looks ridiculous, I'm like, I'm out, I'm done.
Here's the problem as well. The writing is so bad that while certain scenes are even slightly clever, like, again, him reading a book. Okay, great. You have that one joke. But, or like something like that. There's like a little bit of like, there's a little bit there. So very little that I'm like, all right, that was an idea you had that went nowhere. But whatever. It kind of worked as a joke, but not really. The problem is, as well, if you watch the trailer for this movie, you're completely spoiled through.
Yeah, they used all the shots.
You don't even know how much you have in this movie spoiled to you, because every single major thing in that trailer is... I was surprised when I saw this, is in like the last 20 or 30 minutes of this movie. There's almost no scene that's in there that isn't in the trailer.
Yeah, last thing I want to say, and just want to stress this one little part. Comparatively, I don't want this to do well. Like,
I want this to bomb.
When I walked out at the very end, they did something. But by the way, the transformation scene. Did you notice the guy whenever he transforms, he transforms, but he has no clothing. Cut to then when he transforms back, he has clothing.
Oh yeah, no, it's stupid.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
Really freaking stupid.
Okay.
He quickly changes.
Yeah.
But
on the final note, they were like, here's this awesome tease if we can get the sequel. I'm like, you just reminded me of a better movie.
Yeah.
How dare you? How dare you, movie? It's like if at the end of Batman v Superman, they reminded you of The Dark Knight. Like, they had, like, I don't know.
They had Heath Ledger in the grave, and he opens his eyes. That's what, like, it feels like, a side character coming back. And we specifically mean Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yes.
Although, to be fair, maybe Suicide Squad did that to some people. The other thing we should say is we're solely on this movie. This movie is objectively bad.
Yes.
The writing's bad. The pacing's bad. The editing's bad. Everything about this movie is bad. It is. I was laughing in scenes. I'm like, this is stupid. There's excess amounts of gore, violence. And by the way, they try to be scary and epic, but this movie is not scary. This movie has no frights or scares in it. The Hellboy movie, the 2008 and 2008, because it came out around the same time as Dark Knight and Iron Man, and also
2011,
2004. Those two. The reason why I keep bringing them up is when then you compare it to those two, you can see Hellboy has a character arc, multiple character arcs. The side characters have character arcs.
Yes.
They're fleshed out. You care about Hellboy's father.
They also have the action in those ones. They're much more physical.
Yeah.
Yes, I know there's practical effects and, you know, different times and all that. I understand that. And yes, I will also admit, in the first Hellboy, they had overuse of CGI monsters, like the final squid monster thing. Yeah, it wasn't the most entertaining fight. But what I will say...
But you cared more for him and his love interest?
I had more tension when he was, like, fighting the monsters that duplicate with water. Or, like, more tension with the Golden Army, or like cared more, or was more entertained by those fights.
Yeah.
Yes, I know there was a bigger budget and such too, but I felt more invested in those worlds. I wanted to go back to those worlds, and that's why I think a lot of people are going to be very angry when they see this.
Yeah.
Is because they see this and they're like, I don't like this world. This world is crummy. This world is, I don't care about. It's dark. It doesn't make sense. I want to go back to the other one, the bright, cheerful, dark one, but that through and through carried you and
the
on an entertaining ride.
The boardroom party scene in the Golden Army is scarier than anything in this film. The fairies that eat people alive and like disgusting goo. Yes. Yeah, those things were freaking terrifying. There's nothing in this movie that's scary.
Yes.
Nothing. They're all jokes. Every single one. The bat creature. Oh, by the way, okay, spoilers. We're getting into a couple spoilers.
We've already gone into spoilers.
Yeah, he's a friend of his gets turned to a vampire, and he's like so mournful and so sad. He gets in a drunken depression. The vampires that turned him into the vampire
never brought up again.
Never brought up again.
Yes, you murdered my friend. Now let me just go drink and not get revenge.
You know the scene in the trailer?
Hellboy would not do that. Hellboy would immediately be like, I'm going to find you. Cut to him murdering every vampire in the area. And then probably enjoying himself while he does it. Like, he's having he's probably like, you killed my friend. And
you know what would have been a better intro?
And then like probably with the dead guy being like, cheers to you, buddy. Like with his soul or something.
Remove the intro with the Blood Queen. Yes. Absolutely. Remove her. Add in a sequence where Hellboy is literally doing the baby. Like, as in, like, trying to find if the baby's real or not.
Yes.
Add that at the beginning, so that way it makes more context of, like, oh, that's the baby from earlier.
Yep.
And then you can have that scene when Ian McShane Shane is literally explaining to Hellboy what this person is. Like, you can... This movie is so poorly put together that it's just... It's so bad.
So, okay, first off, let us say this. It is not our worst movie of the year. It is a bad movie.
It's close.
It's Godzilla takes a special cake. Listen, I know you are really biased coming out of this movie, but as someone with a clear head comparatively, I would say that Godzilla is definitively the worst movie. There's not a thing I like about that movie.
Okay, here's the thing though. Mm-hmm. There's maybe one or two things I could say in that Godzilla film that was like, okay, maybe that was okay. Like, ideas in this. Like, ideas in this movie are okay. But except for one or two characters that we kind of liked.
Yes.
Name anything else good. Did you like the score? The soundtrack?
They kept reusing, like,
Did you like
songs.
this? Did you like the CGI? And the practical effects, they kept over-masking with CGI. So I didn't even care for those.
Yeah.
All right. Did you care for... the writing or the storytelling? How about the editing or the cinematography?
But I didn't care about any of that for Godzilla. In fact, I was mad watching that movie. This one I didn't. I was just like, eh. I was mad walking out.
So that is why, in my personal opinion, Greyshot Productions would like to formally announce that this movie, Hellboy 2019, is getting a 2 out of 10.
I'd go with a 3, but okay, you can, since you're the...
Okay, then the two characters bring it up to that point. But everything else is so bad.
It's just generic. That's the thing. It's not
bad.
It's
not generic. It's just bad. A generic movie would be something like Rampage.
I think you're comparing it to the previous movies, which they were good movies. But you have to remember that, yes, this is repeating the other movies. And yes, it's doing generically what it's done.
No, I am specifically saying everything on a fundamental level in this movie, the editing, the CGI, the music, is poorly put together, slapped in, not really well done.
Okay.
Hellboy does not have an arc in this movie. Does he have an arc?
Yeah, he has the arc of choosing either to defend humanity or go against humanity. And you can see the little bits in there. It's just kind of crummy and, well,
here's the thing, though.
Well.
From the very beginning, people keep telling him, you're a good guy, you're a good guy. There was nothing in his actions that told me that he was going to be the bad guy. Even though he looks like the devil, there was nothing in his actions. If there was something festering, something building, something pushing him, kind of like what Ron Perlman had to go through in 2004, or maybe another movie similar to where you have that counterbalance between good and evil, where that's a possibility. Again, maybe I could see it higher. But overall, there's a couple charismatic leads in this that can hold out with a terrible script, but overall, this movie is just junk. It is a junk.
I would say that it's not... I would say it's 3 out of 10... it's not worth your time if you like the original movies. But if you like Hellboy and you like the original, sure, it's technically darker and grittier or whatever, but...
But here's the thing. You should do exactly what this movie does. So read Wikipedia fully of what this movie is about. Full story synopsis, everything. And then go to the movie, so that way, like the movie itself, it can tell you, and then it can show you.
You know, technically, it's 3 times that it's the worst
Okay,
part.
so
It's
read
when
Wikipedia
like,
3 times, bash yourself in the head,
I'm
then
just-
walk
I'm-
into the movie.
As someone that plays video games, it's not the 2 times that kills it. It's the 3rd time when you have to do something or you have to do something repeatedly. I'm just stressing that. But yeah, it's not a great movie, and we're probably not going to do these that too often unless we see another bad movie.
Go see The Missing Link. Please go see The Missing Link. I want to see that so bad.
Yeah, sorry we got delayed. But yeah, any case, guys, that has been our review of Hellboy 2019. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys next time.
You are so lucky that the next movie we have to pick is The Avengers. You are so incredibly lucky. Hello, everyone. Before I go, I want to give a special shout out to Patreon supporters Milam, WhiteHotD, Toussaint, Streakingwookie, McPain, Sebastian, Rifle, PyroShark, Onlyplayapples, LeShoe, Just Play Thomas, jrchicklis, JP Vaal, Josh, Joey G, Chofo, Chris Bailey, Ace, Tim, Nathan Angus, Leonard Liu, Jordan Savat, and Aaron Yee. Thank you all for your amazing support. You are all incredible. Thank you again, and I'll see you guys next time.